Right, let's do this, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Nation. Today, we're talking about the biggest sleeper anime of the year, Odd Taxi. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe, and help support us and see more great content such as the Marvel Mondays Initiative, the Penultimate Conquest Game Show, and my show, Anime Nation. Also, remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, which gives you one free Twitch subscription a month. So give us a sub. If you missed out on any of this week's content, check our website, thepenultimateconquest.com, and check out our VODs and even see the schedule for the rest of the month, which is finally updated. And for those of you who don't know, I am Ryan, the host of Anime Nation. And I got some lovely gents with me here today to talk all things Odd Taxi. We got from Baka by its profile. We got Frank and Tyler. Frank, how you doing?
I'm good. I gotta say, lovely gentleman is that's a first. That's
Yeah,
definitely a first. That's
yeah.
never been in my wheelhouse of vocabulary or adjectives describing me. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, no
I was gonna say
problem.
that explains why in your intros on our show, Frank, you never address me or our other counterpart as lovely gentlemen. It's normally just and our other person that just kind of walked off the street. This guy.
This
Yeah,
guy we
usually I
found
introduce.
down the block.
I know.
Yeah,
Usually it's more so something like our or our averagely magical, magically average, something like that. Something
just a
stupid.
mouthful every time. I'm so shocked that you can
It's
do
a
it every
tongue
time.
twister, and I
It is.
usually get it right on the first time, but this time I
I,
did not.
I do
Golly.
applaud you for it.
And Tyler, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's nice to be talking about anime, especially Odd Taxi. It's been something that Frank and I talked about this entire last season of anime, and we just gabbed about it on our podcast alone, while our other friend just sat there and listened and sort of groaned at us just being all cheery and wide-eyed about it. So happy to be talking about with some other intelligent, big brain people.
Right?
It is exciting. And before we get into real meat and potatoes, I think I just gotta do a bit of house cleaning. And that is we got Ruben streaming Skyward Sword this week on the Twitch channel. We have a penultimate game show going up about all things Steam Deck, and then we're going to have a 12-hour anniversary stream this Sunday celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Penultimate Conquest podcast. So a lot of exciting things happen over here on this channel. Definitely come check out. And now let's get into this big topic. Let's get into Odd Taxi.
Let's do it.
And
Oh, baby.
I think the best way to start this off is I'm just going to read the My Anime List description of Odd Taxi, which is an eccentric and blunt walrus. Hiroshi Odakawa lives a relatively normal life. He drives a taxi for a living, then meets several unique individuals. The job is Tachikota, the dead end set going on viral mysterious nurse, Miro Sakai, the comedic duo Homo sapiens, and Dobo, a well-known delinquent. And that's really what we're working with here. And from that and the photo, I never thought I'd love this anime as much as I did. God damn. It
It's one of the best original anime. Like, not even that it's just like good anime. It's an original. Like, it's
yeah.
not based on any source material. Like, it is so fucking good.
And I can't remember the last time I watched an original anime that from beginning to end stuck the landing this well.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this is something that, like I said, we had talked about previously, but I was more shocked at the fact that there was every single episode was thrilling from start to finish. There was like never a dull moment, and they kept all these different storylines fit together. I mean, the anime list doesn't do it justice with naming like 4 characters. You meet about what seems like a dozen,
Yeah.
and they're all impactful.
Mhm.
It's astounding how well thought out from episode 1 to the final episode the entire show played out. Yeah, incredible.
Again, people have been relating this to things such as like Tarantino movies and a bunch of those things, and I 100% agree with that. With the way things are shown and then used 5 episodes later to the way the dialogue is. It is just an extremely impressive show for a show that really is on the big scale of things, quite small in its nature. It is the story of 10 to 12 people and how they all relate to Otokawa and what's going on in his life.
Yeah, and the marketing for the show was like really under the radar. Really, the only thing I remember seeing before the show even aired was at the Crunchyroll Awards for Anime of the Year. Like they had one trailer and it was very just like nondescript. It showed off like this animal world. And then while it was airing, like I think Crunchyroll had a few posts about it weekly, like not weekly, but like every other week there may have been like a post about it. It got zero marketing
It
at
did. It
all.
got
And
no.
it's sad.
It is. This is the show that I have been recently screaming out to the heavens to everyone, go watch this. This is something very special.
Yeah, I think too the surprising factor of it was the fact that it is an original. And I think most of the skepticism around it when it was first coming out was that there wasn't anything for fans to refer to or to reference when it was airing. And so it was just a complete unknown dark abyss of what's going to happen next. And I don't think people wanted to plunge into that, especially with how great this last season of anime shows that came out was. I think people were sort of maybe off put by it not having any source material. I don't know. I with how much hype it's been getting since the final episode, I'm shocked that no one has at least taken a dip into the first episode of Odd Taxi just to see what it's like. Because it got me hooked from episode 1.
So I
Yeah.
actually watched it post it all airing because I kept kind of hearing every so often when I'd be on the anime forums and stuff, I'd be like, oh, okay, another person's mentioned. And then I keep hearing from like all the hardcore anime fans that this ending's insane. And it's been a while since I've sat down and watched 12 episodes of anime just in a fucking row, but I did it for the show.
Was it 12 or
And
13? Regardless of either whichever one it was, like yeah, I watched it week to week and it was like fucking cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger after like domino build. It's just like when is it gonna fall? When is shit gonna it was such a good show to watch week to week and nobody discussed it and to kind of like go real quick go back. The one thing that I heard from a lot of my friend group as to why nobody wanted to watch this, other than the fact that there was no marketing, nondescript, et cetera, is that, oh, it's just another animal world. Like, I don't need another animal show. Like, we got BNA last year, we had Beastars season 2 last year. They're like, okay, I had my fill of anime furry animals. Like, I don't need another show to add on top of that. And so that's the most disappointing part is that like I have a few friends who are hardcore into anime and they just did not give it a try because based in an animal world, and I'm just like, just please for the love of like I've been annoying the shit out of them to the point where they just hate me at this point.
yeah, I've been there.
Same. My roommates can't. I'm like, you gotta watch this. This is some next level shit.
Also,
I
too, I
It
want to
is.
applaud you, Ryan, for watching it all in one setting because my little heart couldn't take it week to week. So I couldn't imagine sitting down at once and just cramming through it because I, I would have had at least 3.5 heart attacks doing that with how much
I
with how thrilling it
I was
was.
alarmed every couple of minutes, but every time I'd be like, all right, one more episode, and then I'll be done for today. And I'm like, I gotta know what's gonna happen now. What? And then
And it's
How
Capyrara?
many
it's like a
how
bad
many bunny
dessert.
hole oh
And it's like you just
yeah.
keep eating more and more of the cake. You're like, it's well, what if this piece isn't good enough tomorrow? I feel you. Sorry, Frank. What were you gonna say before I rudely interrupted you, my gracious
I
gentleman?
actually don't really remember. I feel like it had to do something with the amount of oh, how many bunny holes did you go down, Ryan, after you finished the show? Like, how much research after the show did you do? Because there is
Oh,
a whole nother world of just shit that I missed
Yeah.
And I sent this to Tyler, and I was like, "What the fuck? How did I
Mhm.
miss this giant
Mhm.
plot hole that gives the ending a whole new meaning?"
Yeah, no, I for just went on a Twitter hole of just reading things people were saying about this show, all the weird little spoiler details and all that. And with that, I think we've talked about just gushed over this show enough to now jump into spoilers. One thing I want to say before we actually get into spoilers is, god damn, does the opening to this anime fucking slap.
Oh, thank goodness you agree, because
Yes.
I thought the intro. First off, I love Frank and I are going to dedicate an entire show one week to just OPs. And Frank, was there for that. He signed a verbal agreement with me, so he's stuck to that now. But
It's on the internet. It's forever. So
exactly. But the opening song to Odd Taxi is, not only is it a stellar song, but I love the fact that it captures that like taxi big city vibe with the sound and feel of
Mm.
it. Not to mention the art in it is
And
gorgeous.
then
It's so
when
cool.
you start to realize some of the things about the art and everything and it start coming together, I'm like, god damn.
Well,
And
haha. Not to transition quickly into spoilers, but one of my incredible guest spoiler moments of the entire show came out in the opening, and I'm so proud I caught it.
and
here's
with
here's your
that,
here's your clapping from me. You got one thing right, buddy. Yeah. I'm over here just like week to week, just guessing the most batshit crazy ideas. And here's Tyler just like, hey, I think it's a cat in the closet. And it's just like,
Well,
here's
let
your
me
clap,
give you
buddy.
some credit. Let's get into the next section. Let Ryan introduce it, and dive into it.
I
let's
know.
go into
I'm mostly giving
spoilers.
you crap because I love to give you crap, buddy.
Um, what? Oh, I don't even know where to begin with spoilers for the show.
I
There
was
is
I was gonna
so
say,
So let's
how do we want to how do we want to go through the spoilers? Because I mean, like, there's spoilers to the show, but then there's spoilers if you've watched the show that are within the show. You know what I mean? Like, there's like the
yeah.
mystery
so
spoilers, and then there's the show spoilers.
I
Let's
think
start
let's start. Oh, go for it. You're the
with the
host. Sorry, that's my bad.
it's all good. No, I do the same on other people's podcasts. It's all good. Uh,
And Frank's got wine in him
let's
now. It's
start
gonna
with
get crazy.
the show spoilers, and let's go down what the show is, with it being starting off with this a basic taxi driver driving. God, who was this first? It was the idols, right?
He drove the hippo. He drove the
Yeah, I
hippo
think he drove the
kid that
hippo.
wanted to
Oh,
go viral. That was
Yeah.
the first passenger. The
yes.
second passenger, I believe, was the manager of Kiss. Wait, was it Kiss Kiss or no? What was
Mystery
the
Kiss.
idol
Mystery
group?
Kiss.
Mystery Kiss. There we go. There's whenever it comes to anime, and I know that there's probably examples out there, and this is just a bad analysis, but this is just with my limited knowledge of anime, which is like 215 shows or something like that. Every single show that has an idol show in it, they have the word kiss in it.
Oh, you're not wrong.
I,
You're not wrong.
I
Yeah.
don't know why. Just there somewhere in there is kiss, but like I don't off the top of my noggin, I cannot think of a show that has an idol group that doesn't have the word kiss in it. But anywho, that's a discussion for another time. Yeah, so like the first kid, the hippo kid, wants to go viral, and then you're like, okay, you're never gonna see him again. He may go viral, but like you'll see him in the background somewhere.
Yeah. And then he becomes this critical player of fake justice, basically.
Buffoonery is what it is.
Honestly, trying to think through all the different characters in this, it might be best to just honestly walk through the characters and how they're related to one another. So people watching and listening and whatever, get your giant post boards with yarn and start tacking on your pictures, because
Yeah.
it's about to get wild.
Let's
my
do that.
line.
Let's have some fun here. We got our main man, one of my favorite anime characters of all time now, Otakara. His deadpan delivery of everything was amazing.
He is the most apathetic, just, I don't even want to call him level-headed, because he's really not level-headed. He really had that don't give a fuck attitude about anything and everything, which is sort of the epitome of what you imagine like a taxi driver, like a veteran taxi driver to be. Like they've seen shit, they've picked up so many people that it just doesn't even matter anymore to him. He's been barfed on probably 20 times at this point too in his career. Like he just does not care.
I've finally found the best analogy as to who Arakawa is if you're going to relate him to another character, and that is a non-depressed Eeyore
A non-depressed Eeyore?
from Winnie the Pooh. Yes,
I
because
mean,
Eeyore's just like, oh, it's just another day, and so is Arakawa, but he's just like, he doesn't want to die, but he doesn't necessarily not want to die, so he's just like, he's just a non-depressed Eeyore. He's just like, he's just there, and his like delivery is so monotone, just like out there, truthful, and everything else. He's just a less depressed Eeyore, is what
He
it
can
is.
be having an amazing moment and be as deadpan as he is with a gun held to his head.
and like he's so skeptical about everything too, which is great. Like he has a beautiful woman that's going after him, and his immediate thought was, she's trying to get something from me, and I don't know what it is, but I'll figure it out because, by George, no one loves me. I mean, look at me, I'm a fucking walrus. Like that's his mentality for everything. It's like it can't be that good. There's got to be something else with it.
And
There's
with
got to be a
that,
catch.
Yeah,
let's move on to the next character, which will go down with the nurse now, Mio.
our capoeira alpaca badass.
Yeah,
The most random character in the fucking entire show. Just
Yeah.
like, not in the fact that she's like, her placement is random. Like I really enjoy her her character, but like everything she does is so freaking like out of left field. You're kind of left scratching your head.
I never know what to expect of her character.
But that's sort of the beauty of the show in general, right? Like for sort of like twofold. One being every character you meet outside of Otokawa, the taxi driver, you feel like they're just like a one-off character. Like you're gonna see him once and that's it. Maybe not his best friend or the bartender, which we'll get to those characters in a bit.
Mhm.
But like everyone else you meet and interact with, and you're like, all right, there's going to be like one interaction with them, maybe two, but they're really just a one-off. And the show it sticks you into this big spider web of how involved they are that you just don't see it from the start. So it surprises you there. But then also to your point, Frank, like, yeah, she's kind of crazy and over the top with the fact that she knows capoeira and she can kick people's asses and she can dive in the sea, like while holding her breath for what seems like 5 minutes and rescue people. And yeah, she's a badass, but in the grand scheme of the show, she's like the most normal of characters, right? Like
You're also forgetting drug smuggling. You're also forgetting like
drug
smuggling.
Drugs,
like,
she was
well,
taking
like-
immense opiates out of her hospital.
I guess like drug embezzlement, right? Like
Okay, yeah, that's a better word for it. But like, yeah, no, she's like, it's just every episode she's in, it's something new. It doesn't matter what it is. So it's always fun to see her character. It's always fun to see her interaction with Otokawa because he's like, I don't know if this was really going through his head or not, but it's like, I'm a walrus, you're an alpaca. Like, I don't know how things work in the animal world, but usually those two don't match. It's like trying to fit the square block in the circle hole.
Jesus.
can make it work, it'll happen.
One of my favorite scenes involving Mia was anytime she'd bring up capoeira, and he's like, "Isn't that just dancing?" He's like, "You're
And then
not
she'd
gonna."
show him.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat anyone, but then it finally pays off and saves his life.
Which again, it's one of those moments.
Which is another spoiler.
Yeah. I mean,
Down the
again,
line eventually.
with this show, when we speak about spoilers, like every single moment outside of the first episode is spoiler.
Yeah,
Like
That's
so.
true.
Again, super incredible disclaimer, big flashing lights again, people, please, for the love of God, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Like you don't want us to spoil it for you. You really don't. You will be on the edge of your seat from episode 1 to the end.
This may be the best show to go in blind to.
Hands down.
not only going blind to, but like when everybody is like starts that debate of like, oh, what show would you recommend to somebody who's never watched anime? This honestly has reached like the top of the fucking
Mhm.
list. Because like this isn't so for a couple different reasons. One, it's not as tropey, it's not as campy, it's not a generic shonen, it's not anything like that. This is something that like it's in its own wheelhouse. It's something so different. It's something so because like for all intents and purposes, this show is so very different from traditional anime. Like from
It
the
is.
art style
Mhm.
to the story to the present, like everything. It's completely different. So I honestly this is one of those shows that I think is hop skipped and leaped above everything else on the top of my list of like hey, I would recommend you do this. If you can get over the fact that these people are animals and it's an animated show and you can focus on this story, you can get into anime too.
Oh,
Because
it's
if you like, I know that's like a
Right.
lot of just like, hey, if you can get over this, this, and this, but it's just like, I feel like those are three small, minor things.
it's definitely an anime I'd recommend to people who are coming in, especially from like a movie background and that kind of thing, and all
Yeah.
that. Like if they enjoy movies that are very similar to this, I definitely recommend it to them. I put it right next to Cowboy Bebop and Black Lagoon as animes that don't feel like anime.
Yep.
Black Lagoon's an interesting one,
Black Lagoon has a special
but
place in my heart. But
Oh,
no,
I
same.
forget that it does.
I totally agree with the both of you. Like, because I have heard that same question asked. Like, if for your one friend that's not into anime or like has no interest in anime, what would you show them? And everyone always says like first episode of Attack on Titan or first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, or like if you want to do like more like a little bit older but still going, like you can do One Piece. Which by God, please do not do that. You'll be stuck in it forever. But like for
Join
me,
me in hell.
sorry, I didn't mean to throw you on the spot. But like for me, my intros were always the like the ones that were off center from your traditional animes. Like for mine was always going to be like Fooly Cooly. Like you want an off the wall, but just
I would
totally.
never.
Oh, I would do because I would be like, hey, listen, like you want to go watch Naruto and Bleach and stuff, like go for it. You're gonna get stuck in it forever. But it's you're gonna see that repeated, that same formula repeated in all the new shows from like Shonen and everything coming out. If you want something off the wall and crazy, that's like just a encapsulates what really could be like a one-off anime show, like Fooly Cooly is one.
Fooly Cooly is
Lastly,
an art piece. It's not an anime show. This is just an art piece, honestly.
but like those shows are the ones where I'm like, that's the type of show I want people to
Okay.
get into.
Okay.
Like
Okay. You
same
hit
with
you hit
like
it home there.
yeah, like Wonder Egg Priority. It's superb. Like
I still have to watch the last episode, but yes.
but it totally is
The
goes against
last episode.
yeah.
Yeah, episode 13 that which the reasoning behind it is like I completely understand, but I hear that it's just not a very good
Imagine
Anywho.
imagine being like one of Santa's elves and you're like 30 seconds away from getting your last present wrapped and you haven't even like started, and the panic that goes into wrapping a present and how shittily it is kind of at the end, but it's still wrapped. That's like the last episode of
Yeah.
that show. But anyway,
Anywho,
that
back
aside,
to Odd
Anyway,
Taxi.
Back to Odd Taxi.
that's why I feel like Odd Taxi is one of those that goes in that bucket of shows where like it is not a traditional anime. It goes against what you would prescribe to be like the anime formula of like, you know, either really intense or like lots of like fighting and battles and combative and things like that. Like it goes against that completely. And to your point too, Ryan, like it is kind of like the perfect anime to show someone who's like a big movie buff because it has those movie elements. Like
Mm-hmm.
it never stops from beginning to end. It is a continuous roller coaster ride of holy shit. I can't see an end to this. Like
I feel like
it just keeps going.
yeah, the plot is also very similar to like movie style in which it's just like, hey, there is a definitive end, like beginning and end. And
Mhm.
if you want to pick it apart and a little bit of a spoiler here, it's left open ended for the ending, like you can kind of imagine what's going to happen. Like that definitely does lead into the kind of movie debate of like this is more just a very extended movie than it is a TV show. Because if
And
you watch it back to back to back, I mean, Ryan, what did you think?
I
Did you think it
I
was like a
watched it.
movie or
It
was it
felt
a
like a
TV show?
movie. It felt like a
Yeah.
movie.
I can
It
imagine.
felt like a movie with just a bop and song every 23 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah.
And with that, let's keep going down these characters. We're gonna keep going with the gorilla, the fun-loving, the Amuri,
The doctor.
the doctor,
No, wait, no. Wait, is it the doctor or the best friend?
Yeah, the
No, the
chimp.
doc-
gorilla's the doctor. Never mind.
the
never mind.
Yeah, the
doctor,
gorilla's the
and
doctor. Yeah.
his friend, his
Yeah.
doctor and drinking buddy.
Yeah.
He goes to the bar with
They're-
him and his other friend.
Yeah.
His one friend that ends up actually being the most useless in the entire show.
Oh, we'll get to him.
Most
after
useless and the most like fucking critical to this fucking show.
I know.
Oh my
this. The
god.
doctor, though, when he started
The doctor.
digging into the past, I couldn't figure out what he was doing for the life of me.
And it was so crazy too because his character kind of took a 180. Because in like I want to say like episode 3 or 4, like Otakawa's going in for a routine checkup. He can't sleep. He's got issues with like falling asleep and whatnot. He's got back problems too. So he goes to the doctor, and the gorilla's pretty much like, you probably should go see someone else, dude. Like I can't help you here. Like you really need to go to like an actual like full-fledged hospital with staff that can treat you. Like it's just me and my capoeira ass kicking alpaca here. Like
Who's also stealing drugs from me.
yeah. But like
The drugs you need.
you get sort of the sense like he's good at heart. He comes from a good place, but he doesn't care for him like as a friend. He only sees him as his patient, right? And he was doing everything in his power to like help him out as his patient. Then we get to the last 5 episodes where he just goes on this adventure by himself. He's just off at like snippets of him in episodes where he's trying to figure out what in the ever-loving fuck happened to Otakawa in his past that has caused him to be this way. Because you find out through the medical history and sort of like little hints that the gorilla was dropping is that like the taxi driver has some mental issues. We don't really know what they are, but there's something more than just like having trouble sleeping and a back pain. There's like real deep mental psychological issues going on with Otakawa, but you don't know what they are. And the gorilla makes it his mission. He's like, fuck him being my patient. He's my friend above all else. And I will go to hell and back to figure out what's wrong with him because no one knows.
After we get through these characters, we will get into the massive spoiler, the ending, and just how everything connects. Me and my friend have a name for movies and shows like this. We call them whiteboard shows, where you need a fucking whiteboard next to you to lay out the entirety of the piece of media you're watching.
Frank made the analogy of the famous scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with
Or Charlie Day.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
the-
when
the
you were
design.
saying get your yarn out in your photos, I was like, that's my fucking line. That's my Charlie Day line, all right? I'm not just
like
you
no
know,
other show
doing-
has ever used that same reference. Get off my back. Get off your high horse.
Let it happen. Anywho, I do want to say back to the monkey. I think one of the things that like really kick drives, whatever the fuck you want to call it, as to why he really goes back into Otakawa's past and figuring out what is actually wrong with him. Before I get into that, I think like also you can tell that Otakawa is very socially weird when it comes to people. Like you kind of get those hints, not just because like his voice is monotone, but just like the interactions and the crap that he says, and like people are like, this is not normal. This is not normal at all. But I think what back to the on topic, the doctor, what really kickstarts that is that he helps his assistant. He helps the alpaca get out of the debt, get out of the trouble that she had, and like covers up her opioid like not exploitation, but stealing, etc., and selling, theft. Yeah, there you go. So like I think because he sees that he cares so much about even the most minor people around him, he's like, okay, I need to figure out and help this guy. Like if he's not going to go seek it, I'm going to do it for him. And I think that's what really sees it. But like the last 5 episodes when he's doing this, it's just you get zero information at all as to what the hell like he's doing. You don't get any hints. Like you understand that he's looking into his background, but you don't understand what he is finding because every episode it ends with him and he's just like, "Nani? Like what?" It's just like he just keeps finding shit and you're like, "What did you find? What did you find? I need to know." And then it's not until the last episode that you find out what happened, like what is truly going on. You're like, "Oh,
It unloads everything. But with that,
just a shotgun blast."
That's putting it. That's like a shotgun blast fired out of a cannon.
The third
Something like
member
that.
of this drinking group that would go to their local little bar there, Enji.
Oh my
The-
gosh.
He's the best friend. He's the best friend.
chimpanzee.
He's the best friend.
The chimpanzee, right?
Yeah.
Most frustrating character of the show.
He can
The-
basically be summed up as like your creepy uncle who thinks he hits it big with someone on Tinder and they find out it's just like a catfish. And then it ends up being
Not
even
just
worse.
finds out that it's a catfish, it's a dangerous catfish.
Yeah, it's one that has teeth.
Yeah.
It is a catfish with a mob attached to it. A literal mob, not like a mob of people, but the mob.
Is it a school of catfish? Would that be like? I was hoping there'd be like another phrase for what you can categorize a group of catfish, like a murder of crows. It'd be like a gaggle of catfish. But yeah, no, nothing in this show at any point is it good for his best friend, the chimpanzee. Like it is constant sad and depression. He doesn't have any money. He doesn't have love in his life. He drinks at the bar and eats food at the bar, and even the bartender's like, "Good God, your life is miserable." And
I found
he's
the perfect character analogy to them.
oh God, what now?
Everything's turning up Millhouse.
He's
Literal Millhouse.
He's pretty much
He's
Millhouse.
old Millhouse.
35-year-old Millhouse.
Yep.
God.
Also, a group of catfish is called a ball.
A ball of catfish? That's amazing.
No. Yes.
Yeah, so-
that's fan-fucking-tastic. I love
So
it.
he got catfished and it turned out to be a ball of catfish. But yeah, like so he at one point, and again, I say this with like all sincerity in my heart, in that he is the most useless character in the entire show, which says a lot because of all the characters that are in this show. The most important part is that he gets wrapped up in what's called a badger scheme with one of the members from the idol group, their manager, and a gang that's local to town, to the point where he thinks that he's in love with this young idol girl who's like still in college or something, I think, or maybe even high school.
Yeah.
College.
think it's
No,
college.
I think it's
I think
college.
they're all
College,
18,
college.
19.
Yeah. And like taking out loans to go to big fancy dinners, taking out even bigger loans to get a engagement ring, and it all comes crumbling down when she's like, "You dumb idiot. Did you really think I was in love with you? Nah, we're gonna hold you for ransom though." And then for like 2
It was-
episodes, he's trapped in a big fucking warehouse
Just
somewhere.
getting the shit rocked.
Oh yeah. Well,
It
he's
was
like,
so heartbreaking.
and he's crying and he's like, "But you love me." And she's like, "When in the ever loving hell would anyone ever fall in love with you?" And you're like, my heart kind of breaks, but at the same time, he is a dipshit and he took out like $5 bajillion in loans, so you kind of like don't feel that bad for him. And again, he's like
Yeah.
the most useless character, so you're like, show me the interesting ones. Let's move along from.
With that, we can actually get to one of my favorite characters from this entire show, because I think this will take us down. We've met as
wait.
friends.
Can we guess? Can we guess what who your favorite character was?
Yeah, I guess.
Is
From
it
the ones that
Dobu?
were remaining.
It is
No. Is it Dobu?
It is.
It is Dobu.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
actually
Dobu
I
was
agree.
one of
I
the-
really like Dobu's character because he is the atypical villain who thinks he's in control of everything and he
Mhm.
literally has zero control of anything.
No, Dobu
But
is
it's like I love it.
flying
His character
through
is
the
so good.
coattails, and he thinks he is he thinks he is this absolute mad lad when there's much crazier people ahead of him and all this
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
thing. And so Dobu, a character who we see come up in the Taxi, I believe in episode 2,
Mhm.
kind of tries to hardball Otokawa into giving him his cam data, which, God, that dash cam data really was just a major.
Everyone and their goddamn sister wanted the
Yeah, I'm
dash
like,
camera
why does
photo.
everyone want this fucking dash cam?
The police wanted it, Dobu wanted it, the manager wanted it, like my grandma wanted it. and
All for different
golly.
reasons.
No, but I think
Mhm.
Dobu can really be summarized as just somebody who thinks he is the ringleader when he is just another pawn on the playing field.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
his
Well,
character was so well written. It's insane. Like everything about this show was so well written, but his character specifically, like, is just so. I could almost equate it to the best friend, like the pathetic best friend, and he is a pathetic character. He is like this person, like, yeah, I'm tough, I'm bad, I'm hard, I've got a warrant out for my head, and like this fucking hippopotamus kid who's being a social like person for good who wants to capture me is gonna kill me or beat me up and claim my bounty. Like he is none of that. He fucking gets his ass just whooped week after week, I feel like, because his plans either just end up failing or somebody just either somebody outwits him or just something just shit goes awry and like nothing works in his favor. And it's so well done. It's not in a cliche manner at all. It's yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. His character is one of my favorites in this show by far.
Now, let's get to his counterpart in the seedy underbelly and just some amazing bars coming out of this man, Yano.
I love Yano.
Yano was
He's
hilarious.
he was the best because like he came off as so unthreatening because
Mhm,
he had this giant polar bear to be like the muscle of his operation.
mhm,
But then you realize like he's kind of diabolical if you like read into his lyrics because he would always rap every like when he would speak to you he would rap
mhm,
and
mhm.
uh it was incredible too by the way. I want all of his songs like on a mixtape now because they were great. But yeah, like it was so funny contrasting Doba with Yano because they were a part of the same gang, but they were inevitably like rivals within that gang. They were always trying to one up each other. And Dobu turned out to be what we had previously thought of as like this great villain that was being tried like tracked down constantly. Turns out he really was down on his luck and had no real good operations of late. Until he met Otokawa and got roped into one of his new schemes. But that Yano, this porcupine, small ass, not very threatening dude, is like this
Scooter
evil
riding
master.
little
Yeah, who wrote just bars and rapped to his little heart's content.
And
Was this
rides a
evil
scooter.
and yeah, I wrote a scooter. Is this evil like mastermind that was one upping Dobu left and right within the gang and getting all of the praise. Um, I liked his character. I kind of like his intro into the show was funny with the fact that he like ran into Otokawa. I think during
on the
Halloween when they were out.
scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like Otokawa's like, oh, sorry, and the dude just starts rapping at him, and like I was like my head kind of cocked to the side. I was like, what in the hell is happening? Like, did I have an aneurysm? What's going on? Why is everything being rapped? And then even like at the end when he scoots away, Otokawa's like, I gotta go home. I gotta go to sleep. This is a bad dream. Like something's going
Yeah.
on. This is weird. Yeah, I
I'm
thought
honest with you.
I thought his
Oh,
character
yeah.
was good. I mean,
Great character.
yeah, I like the fact that there's like a switching moment between like Dobu and Yano as far as like their success as gang members, and I like that transition because it really like speaks to the growth in the development of the characters, but then also like it's like marvelously done in the grand scheme of the entire show.
And then it does feel like people in this show comes in groups of 3, and the third member of this underground yakuza, and one of the more important characters I feel like is the CD manager of Mystery Kiss, Fuyoki Yamamoto.
I feel like he was like roped in to the group. Like he wasn't like a voluntary member. It was more involuntary based on the
He's
biggest
still
spoiler
yeah.
I would say of the
Not
show.
not the biggest spoiler. One
Ah!
of the major plot points, I would say.
You're right. The
So
biggest
yeah,
spoiler has to do what's in Otakawa's closet, right, Frank?
no, it does not. It is not. It is not a cat. It is not the cat that is the biggest spoiler. Despite
So,
what you think, yeah, you spit out
what
that water.
spoiler
It's
are we
fine.
talking about here? We can talk about
I'm
spoilers
talking
here.
about
Oh my!
the fact that so the only reason that the porcupine and his bodyguard of a polar bear are brought into the show is because of the spoiler in which one of the idol girls mysteriously gets killed. And they have to, instead of going to the
Oh, wait,
police saying like,
hang on. According to the news, she's missing for like the entirety of
okay,
the show.
yes,
So
and
she's
you either think that she's dead, like she's probable dead, or that she's in Otakawa's closet, which
Because from the start of the show, there's like these little bits of Otakawa like talking to his closet, and there's something in his closet. He even gets investigated by the police. People ask him, like, dude, are you seriously the person that's like housing this missing idol? Like numerous characters ask him, like integral characters ask him, and he never answers them directly. They either get distracted by something else or he just stays silent and the scene moves on.
back
Do
to the
not
manager though.
You are so salty
Back
that
to
I got
the
this one right. You are so
I'm
mad that
not.
I got this right.
I
You are
am
so
honestly not
angry.
mad or salty at all. It was the easiest fucking like low ball toss of like the spoiler you
Wow.
could guess.
You can't even give me credit.
I am giving you
Unbelievable.
credit. I said you were correct, but I'm saying out of all the spoilers in this show, that one was probably the easiest to get. You did not get the part immediately after they find out it's a cat, but that is for later in this talk.
That's
Back
fair.
to the manager. The manager, the only reason the mob is included in this show at all is that the manager called them to dispose of this dead girl's body. So now you have a missing idol, and now you have a manager who has to pay off the mob. So they are running these Badger games. Like this manager is literally roped in, but at the same time, he did it to him fucking self. Just call the police, be like, "There's a dead body. We don't know how it got here.
He's like
We
the
don't know what
epitome.
happened."
He's the
he's
epitome of like
also
digging your own grave, but then instead of being like, all right, I'm done now, being like, I'll go dig like 5 more graves too. Like
is he
constantly just putting himself in bad
isn't
spots.
the manager also Yakuza though? Like he is
No,
Yakuza, right?
he
No,
only
he's
becomes Yakuza because of disposing the dead body. That's
Oh,
why they get roped into the Badger
I
games.
thought he was doing the Badger schemes beforehand. And
no.
that's
No,
why he
he's like,
funded
I
it.
know a guy. He's like, I
That
know a guy that'll help us out of the situation, but that
Okay.
help out of the situation included, hey, you're gonna run Badger games for me in return with these idol girls.
plus
Okay.
plus they'd get 50% of the Mystery Kiss profit. Like there was a whole bunch of
Mhm.
shit this put him into.
And
But yeah, like
Yeah.
it was like one bad situation after another for him, and he never tried to get away from it or get out of it. It was just like how do I stay
This is
alive in this situation? Yeah.
I may as
Like
well let this happen.
yeah. That was the most frustrating part about his character was that like it seemed like there were ample opportunities to be like, okay, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have called the Yakuza to get rid of this body. But I'm in this position now. What can I do to get out of it? Or like how do I figure out a way to escape without hurting anyone else? And his whole like never thought of that for 1 second. His only thoughts were, how can I become an integral asset to this Yakuza without killing myself? The girls, though, not really worried about too much. They can go be a part of Badger games and get sold out for different things. It's fine. How do I keep myself protected? But yeah, I mean, like you said, Ryan, he becomes a crucial piece to like
he
multiple different plots. Like
he does.
it's crazy.
And I think with that we move on to the next 3 people we have, which is the 3 people probably in their early 20s. Shun, Taichi, and God, where is the other one? Why can't I think of their name? Hajime. That was Skull Mask for most of it.
Oh yes,
Because I
yes.
feel like
his episode in general was one of the best.
oh, it's insane. But I think we're gonna start here with the idol loving Shun.
I love this kid. So his story starts out funny with his introduction to the show because he rides in Otakawa's taxi. I think in the first episode as well. He's like the last ride
Yeah.
where he's coming from like some sort of meet and greet, and he jumps in the taxi. He's like, I need to go here, but I only have this amount of cash. He's like, I'll pay you back or give you want an autograph thing? And he talks about how he like spends all of his money on Mystery Kiss. He doesn't have a lot of money. And then I think right before he gets out, he's like, hey, give me your 5 or 6 favorite numbers. And Otakawa's like, what? And he's like, well, I played the lottery. He's like, and Otakawa's like, wait. So you don't have money for the taxi, but you just went off and bought like $50 US dollars worth of like lottery tickets? Yeah. And Otakawa gives him random numbers and
Give some
you find out,
locker
like,
numbers.
Yeah,
He looks at
yeah.
he looks
Yeah,
at
he
a
looks at
picture
his
of lockers
picture.
and just gives
like,
some
that
locker
number, that one.
numbers.
It's like no real basis for why. 2 episodes later, oh, that kid just won 100 or no,
I think
10.
it was 1 billion yen.
Was it
So
1 billion?
$100,000.
Yeah, it was
No.
1 billion yen because there were 10 cases of 100 million yen.
So $10 million US. 1 billion yen is 10 million US dollars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was 1
So
million yen or
huge
1 billion yen.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
chunk of change. Yeah.
And-
Turns his life around, but still spends probably half of it now on Mystery Kiss. Well, not
He-
even.
And then does the millennial thing and posts it online like, I won the lottery!
And that's when he was introduced to the good old Yakuza.
Yeah. God.
The Yakuza are like, cool, we could rob this kid, no problem.
Yeah.
Technology's great.
And then once
This is where shit
Otakawa
just-
learns that he put it on, he's like, make it look fake. For the love of God, kid.
Yeah.
Say you forged it.
dipshit.
Say you forged it. Get out of
Mhm.
town. Fucking. And then he does the dumb shit thing is he gets out of town and then he fucking still posts shit of where he is and then people find out where the hell he still is.
He
Mhm.
can't
Because
be kept away from Mystery Kiss.
he
Mystery
can't be
Kiss
kept
is
away from the
life.
internet.
Well,
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
will have better chances of getting away from the internet than fame hungry Taichi. Who
this is Frank's favorite character, right, Frank? You
The hippo?
loved the hippo.
the hippo.
Fuck the hippo. Fuck this kid. This kid is a piece of shit.
I hate
Like, his
this
character-
fucking kid.
His character is so well written. His character is like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. You fucking hate this character.
Yeah.
Because
He's
he
meant-
has everything that's wrong with like today's youths.
Oh yeah. He's meant to be hated from the start. The fact that he gets
and they
into
did
the
a good
taxi.
job about it.
I mean, your introduction to him is he gets into the taxi, he's complaining about people being popular online and how he can't go viral. And then he's like, hey, let me take a picture of you because you look sad and depressing. And then I'll post it online about how this guy gave me a taxi ride and gave me good life advice. And that's what kind of kickstarts it all. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Is he posts like this feel good message on whatever Quitter, Teeter, whatever stupid site they're using in the
For
show.
the lack of a better term, Twitter.
Yeah.
They're Twitter.
Yeah, and he gets huge hits and it gets one viral post, and then it just spirals out of control from there. And at one
Well,
point,
we know. You know
Yeah.
why the post went spiraled out of control, right? Because in the background of the photo, walking
It's
on the
Dobu.
street is Dobu, who's
Dobu.
wanted. So this all is like, hey, I'm gonna catch a Dobu now,
yep,
And
and it just goes downhill from there.
the minute
Dumbass.
I'm like, the minute he showed up to try and catch Dobu at the pier, I was like, I thought he was gonna get fucking shot. I thought that kid was dead in
I
the
was hoping.
water.
I was hoping,
Yeah.
but
But-
you find out later that that's against the rules.
yep. There's a lot of stuff that's against the rules that we find out.
No,
But
there's
yeah,
only one rule.
Well, but it comes into play in different scenarios, and you didn't realize how impactful
No.
it was until you find out at the end that
True,
that
true.
is the
Any-
case, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Long story short, hippopotamus character, this kid, he fucking blows. He's terrible.
He is the absolute worst.
But But he did
And
have
then-
sex with an idol in a
Well-
penthouse, so pretty
Well
sweet.
job, writers. Well job, writers. But fuck you, fucking kid.
I
Goddamn.
forgot about the weird sex scene with the hippo. I forgot about that.
Sorry about bringing that up. I just because
Why?
the best part was that I was watching it like laughing, knowing
Mhm.
oh Frank's watching it right now, and I bet he's like yelling profanity at his screen right now, and it just makes me smile on the inside that he's getting so upset.
It's more so like, what the fuck is this like little idle cat dog thing, whatever it is, doing? Because there were like one was like a dog or two were dogs and one was a cat. I don't
These
know, but regardless,
dogs-
it was just
two
dogs,
dogs
one
and
cat.
2 cats, I think. Well,
one dead cat.
the it's got 9 lives.
Too soon.
Not
Too
soon
soon.
enough.
Two
Anywho,
cats, one dog, I think. But yeah, anywho,
Yeah.
all you have to know is that the hippo
The hippo
became virally famous and then got shot down to earth and almost killed.
And then the
Dude.
last end of the I'd call them the use of like the youth of so you can get different views of the youth. I feel like what these were characters were used for.
Yeah.
Is the absolutely batshit insane gotcha gameplay Hajime. Skullface.
This poor kid. Poor kid never had a
he
chance.
did it to himself. He did it to himself.
He did it to
He had
himself.
he had like
This is what you call a gambling addiction, kids.
but it started off at a young age and it never improved. With it wasn't gambling at the young age though. It was the wanting to like be like fit into a group or like be noticed or be popular. Because it started with this
Yeah,
whole
But eBay is like a form of gambling, a kinda
I'm
sort
not
of.
saying it's not a
Spending
gambling.
money to potentially win something. And the
not
more you go
saying-
up, the better your
And
chances.
fucking Dobu having the fucking eraser.
Oh yeah. Well, because
at the very end, well,
Yeah.
Otokawa had the eraser, but
That's right,
Otokawa got
Otokawa-
it from Dobu.
Yes. And
people
then
are
it's like-
listening like, what in the shit are they talking about? This is basically
Get
the
your
show, by the way, everyone.
This is your whiteboards. Get your
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
whiteboards have to
Get
be
the-
out. Your string and yarn. Your Charlie Day needs to be behind you. Like,
But yeah, but the gachapon kid, childhood starts off with wanting to fit in at school, not good at sports, not the most attractive, I guess, but like
not smart
cliche.
at all.
Yeah. So he like fits in with this group of kids that collect erasers. And there was always this one kid that showed him up because his parents traveled. And he was like, I will find the one eraser, and finds this one of a kind eraser of a famous comedian, I think, right?
Yes.
Who
Yeah,
ends
it
up
was
being
a
the father
baboon
of
some
the
sort.
and who's the father of the idol girl who got killed, in case you didn't know. Crazy shit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he places bids online to try to get it, and he's bidding forever with this one dude, and it eventually gets up to an astronomical number, and it technically like misclicks. It goes from like what was supposed to be $100, so 10,000 yen, to 100,000 yen, which is $1,000, and he wins it, and then his dad beats the shit out of him, and like,
I think he did
then
that
a-
on purpose.
oh, did he? I thought it was like a slight
He
misclick.
did that on purpose. No, I think he did that on purpose
No,
just
he
for the
did it-
fact that he's like,
he
I
did
did
it
not
on
want to
purpose.
lose out on this.
So
Oh, okay.
he wouldn't lose.
Yeah.
I thought yeah, but like he wins. His dad kicks the ever loving shit out of him.
And then he becomes
Erasers-
an adult.
Yeah, then poof, he's out on his own and has a job.
Wow.
But yeah, like it started that addiction to like getting rare items and getting like gambling on things.
Then he gets addicted to gotcha games.
Yep. One of them is like a
Just
zoo.
like crack.
Yeah, it's like a zoo. You create your own zoo, and he's going after this dodo bird that's like a
As
rare.
someone who
Because he had a dodo bird eraser, and he's
Yep.
like, "Oh, the dodo's the most like the most rare. Like, I need this dodo."
no, as someone who plays a lot of Fate Go, it is just a drug.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry.
You,
We're
you
here-
do
we're
know,
here for you, though.
You do know cocaine would be cheaper.
Oh, probably.
Frank.
Cocaine doesn't have waifu.
Jesus. Oh my god. Well, he's got a point there. Okay. You guys both made valid points. But yeah, he's playing. He finally, after spending, I think it was like $30,000 or something, like
Yeah,
within
it
like a
was
year or
I'm
two.
saying.
Crazy amount of money. He finally gets the dodo only to have a crazy tax driver fly down a street, almost hit him, and cause him to drop his phone into I guess a sewer drain area, and break his phone. And of course, when he tries to restart it and get all of his information back, the dodo was never got. It never went
The
through, and
dodo
it
was a
didn't say
doo-doo.
it was a doo-doo dodo. And so this character who has an entire episode dedicated to him becomes the pin like the main
He becomes the stalker of Otokawa.
yeah, but not just a stalker with a gun and a mask
Yeah.
And
and like an actual like somewhat villain ish.
I don't remember how he came upon the gun.
So I think it was
Dobu
during
buried it. Dobu buried it in
Yeah.
a park, and he like randomly stumbled in the park and was like, I don't know what was happening.
Right.
He, like,
That's right.
He like
was
hit
walking
him.
No,
at
he
night.
he had an anim. I think he had like some sort of like pet or something, or he had some sort of plant. And he
Oh,
was
he had a-
burying it, and he
He had a
dug.
bird die. That's right. He had
Yeah.
a bird.
Yeah.
It was
He was
that
digging
whole-
at a grave.
Yeah.
horrible day. Loses his dodo bird, then his actual bird dies.
And then
So
he
this
finds
is
a gun.
this is the only mystery in this show that I am bewildered and is never explained.
How his
What
bird
the
died?
fuck is Oda? No, what is Otokawa running from? Because he is driving in a back alley like a bat out of hell.
Oh
Isn't that's when Dobu's in the car with him, like
no,
yelling at him?
No,
No,
this
no,
is when he
that's-
was like. this is when
I
he
was
a kid.
confused. I was confused. No,
I'm not a kid.
some
No, he
ways.
wasn't a kid. This was
No,
like
no.
months before, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. But this was the part I saw the same part too. I had the same question. I believe, if I remember correctly, this is the part where the alpaca. He's supposed to meet with the alpaca. He was with Dobu like the whole night, and he was supposed to meet with the alpaca to just like hang out and talk. And he's like, oh shit,
Oh.
I'm late. He's like, oh shit, I'm late. And he like just flies down the street.
Yeah.
Like something
Okay.
super like nothing actual serious. It's like he's legit just late, and that's what happened.
Okay, so I didn't know that. That was the one mystery of the show that was unanswered to me. But
But
will
it goes
get
to
more
it
of
goes to
those.
show that literally every single piece in an episode matters, and that's how cobwebby the show is. But yeah, I will say my favorite part with our poor gotcha kid who turns to be a skull mask kid, that even when I rewatch the episode gives me tingles, is where he's confronting Dobu and Otokawa finally. Like, I finally found you, and you're gonna apologize to me. And there's that screechy, horrible, eerie sounding music that plays as he's screaming at them, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you now. So you better say your goddamn prayers. And it's just like you're put on edge. You're like, Jesus,
Mhm.
this is too terrifying.
Oh,
Like, holy cow.
and if there's something I really enjoy in media, it's when they're counting shots of a gun,
Yeah.
and he's like, "There's only one shot left. It's fine. We're fine."
No, he has
And-
0 shots left. He shot
Yeah.
6 times, so he should be out.
Yeah, and then he had more, and he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah,
That-
then he pulls the trigger and he gets shot, and he's like, "Fuck! I
Shit.
miscounted."
Yeah, I love that moment.
But did
I
he
thought that was
really
great. And
miscount?
we only have a few characters left here. We have the yin and
Police
yang
brothers.
dogs of crime and justice.
I love them. I love them.
Diamond
They're
and
so
Lil
dumb.
Diamond.
Yeah, Damon
They're
and
so
Damon.
dumb, and I love them.
Yeah, they're annoying pieces of shit. I'll give them that.
I love them in the bank, the lottery ticket plan. Their involvement in that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because the other older brother's like, "I'm the police. I can't get hurt." Gets hurt. He's like, "How did this happen?" Little brother's like, "Why did you do this?" And you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Gets his shit wrecked by Yano, and the giant. Is Yano?
All right, everybody. Polar bear versus dog. Who wins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Their relationship with all the characters is funny
Mhm.
because like the older, well, they're twins, but the one who considers himself to be the older brother is like what you would envision to be like a typical dirty cop, kind of
Mhm.
like does what's best for him, kind of skirts the line of being ethical and not ethical, works alongside a criminal, for very personal and mischievous reasons. And then there's the quote unquote dumber younger brother who like is oblivious to everything and is just like, I want justice for all. And you're like, wow, you offer a lot to this. Kudos. And then ends up being like a huge main piece of the story at the end. But yeah,
Yeah,
their interactions are more funny than anything else. Like you kind of get
they are a
distracted
comedic
by
duo,
that. Yeah.
but not the comedic duo of the Homo sapiens.
Oh my god.
I love these two idiots. I love these two idiots. Their humor's so dry and so dumb, and it's like, yes, give
Oh,
it
it
to me.
is
Give me all of it.
It is the driest,
But-
most deadpan humor.
It's hilarious
And I
too
love it.
because like I know earlier I was like, oh, Otokawa's best friend is the most useless character. These guys honestly played little to no part in the show other than one of them being in a relationship with one of the idols at one point. But like their whole purpose was they were the radio show that Otokawa listened to, and then we finally like see them and you're like, oh, okay, we can put a face to a voice. And you're like, good God, your lives are depressing and together. Like you are really not that funny, are you? And that's like their whole shtick is like them like the one realizing like I am not that funny, and the other one getting popular and being like, yeah, you're not. We should break up.
And then the funniest thing that they ever fucking do is in the last episode, like without giving the like complete ending away, like a car is flying through the air and he's like, I'm literally being interrupted by a car, and then just like that's it. It's just like that is the funniest line you have in this entire show.
It's
And
pretty
it's
good, though.
perfect.
Well,
It's
all their funny
perfect.
lines, happen when they're not being recorded and not in front of an audience. Like literally
Yeah.
every single time they're actually funny in the show, there's no one around besides the two of them.
Yep. I love them. I don't care what anybody says.
They're a good
so dumb. I love them.
they're a good comedic relief, I
And you
guess.
brought up the relationship with the idol group, which will bring us to the second to last group we have to talk about, which is the idols. Mystery Kiss.
Mystery
which-
Kiss.
Mystery Kiss +1 or -1. +1 -1. -1 +1. There you go.
Frank, do the math. It's just Mystery Kiss then. You
Good
dingle.
God, it is a depressing group of girls.
Yeah. But I love the fact that they give them purpose too in the show, and you actually like care about them as characters because you learn about their backstories. And they have interesting backstories too, because like the lead, the center for the group is a perfectionist who doesn't know the taste of defeat and never
Shiho?
will. Yes.
Mhm.
She's so adamant about being the best she can possibly be at everything that she does because defeat is not an option. And if she does get defeated, then murder comes into play. But you kind of get a quick glimpse into her past and why she's the way she is. Then you have the more depressing other piece of Mystery Kiss, which is the one who just wants a big house to be rich so she can have a big bath because
She was poor.
she's poor.
And she
That's
loves
really
a
it.
fucking bath.
Yeah.
She just wants a bath. That's all.
And
Just give her a bath.
Then you got the dead one.
Yep, the dead one
Then you
who's
got
dead.
the dead one who was the perfect one for all intents and purposes. Like they were gonna replace the main girl with her, which is why main girl was like, "No, I'm the perfectionist. I need to be the main. I need to like snap necks." And oh wait, somebody snapped this neck for me. Cool. What?
Bludgeoned and then strangled. Thank you very much.
We only see the strangle part. I don't see the bludgeon part. Anywho, that's besides that.
And then we learn of the last and arguably most dangerous of the group, the true
Yes.
killer
The
behind
one-
it all.
Yeah.
That's the spoiler. Yeah, the person who missed out as being the third member of Mystery Kiss, the other black cat,
And just
she-
loves chicken.
She loves chicken, and
loves
she
fried
like
chicken.
her mom, like she basically was raised by a single mom, and her mom was like, "Hey, you're young, you're attractive. Go make your dreams a reality, no matter the cost." So she's like, "Cool, I can do that. Let's abandon all humanity and just kill to get where we need to go.
I mean, Mom said it was okay, so what's the big
Spoiler
deal?
alert, she's the one that kills the other black cat, and that's how then we get here.
And the final character we have to talk about, the person who I could, while going through this list of characters, I could attach to everyone. The tapir that we only meet a few times, Kuroda, the Yakuza leader, the head of the mob boss, the
Otakawa's spa buddy.
the man Otakawa just likes to get in got a sauna with, and they just hang out.
Yeah.
Like
You never would have thought
that
with all the interactions that this taper would have any role.
It took
I
me
mean-
so long to figure out what kind of animal he was. I'm like, is
Yeah,
he
I
an
didn't know what type
elephant
he
with
was
a
either.
short? No, he's a tapir.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, my
like,
roommate
I
walked by
wrote-
and like, what's the tapir of tattoos? Like, oh, it's a tapir.
So did you guys know, like, right off the bat when you met his character the first time in the spa, did you know that he was like the head of the Yakuza?
I guessed from his tats and the way he talked that he was high up in the Yakuza.
That's my reasoning too, because I had that guess too. But yeah, this
I
man
played enough of the Yakuza games to know that those tats mean business.
Well, so here's a few notes for those of you who aren't inundated with like Japanese culture. Two things. One, guns are illegal essentially illegal in Japan. They're non-existent. Like after
they're
World War
not a
II,
thing.
they outlawed guns. You can get a concealed carry permit, but you have to jump through more hoops than being a fucking president of like the United States to get
Yeah.
a gun holding license in Japan.
Mhm.
And the second thing in Japan, tattoos are a huge no-no. Like it's becoming a little less stringent now, but back basically if you have a tattoo and it is visible, people will associate you as being a delinquent or with the Yakuza or some other equivalent gang.
Those like very traditional style like Japanese tattoos you think of
Mhm.
originate from Yakuza mob bosses who would cover them with it for honor across
Yeah.
their bodies.
I was gonna say that, like, real quick tidbit. I'd gone to Japan for law school purposes, and we went to the Kyoto prison, and they told us the actual method that it takes to get a gun in Japan. You have to do a psychological and mental exam. You have to do a physical exam. You have to show that you can actually shoot the gun. You have to completely take apart, clean the gun, and put it back together. Then you have to, after doing that, apply for the gun. It takes 3 to 6 months to approve it. Once you get the gun, you have to always have it in a safe, and every 6 months, someone from the government will come to make sure that you're cleaning your safe, cleaning your gun, storing your bullets properly, and actually have like discharged it at least once, like in practice, so that you're keeping up to date with being able to shoot it. Like that's how challenging it is to get a gun in Japan.
Like I
And-
said, you could become the president of the United States more easy than getting a gun in Japan.
Yeah.
So
And I will say too, like tattoos are definitely like still mer.
Taboo.
But if it's only like if you're Japanese, like if you're of a different ethnicity and you go to Japan, like most people ask you questions about it. I have tattoos and my friends have tattoos, and when we went to Japan, one of them went to an onsen, and I know they were asked questions. But like traditional things in Japan, like you have to go to like a traditional. You can't go to a traditional onsen with tattoos. You have to go to one that's accepting of tattoos. Like there's rules when you go to beaches too. So yeah, like when I first saw our taper friend, I was like, probably Yakuza, just through general knowledge.
yeah, just through of knowing things about Japan and stuff. And
Yeah.
honestly, a character I really enjoyed that
Yeah. He was like
Hey-
the nicest fucking character.
he for all probably the terrible, awful things he's committed in his life, probably through the life of crime he's lived, he makes up for it in how he helps out throughout things.
Yeah. I mean, he
And-
even admits that too, right? Like that's sort
That's
of like
mindset.
his ending
Mhm.
his ending speech with Otakawa is basically like him saying, so you probably know who I am by now. Like, yeah, I've done bad shit in the past.
I'm gonna
I know
retire.
I have. Yeah, and I'm gonna retire. I'm getting out of it, but I know I can't redeem myself for the actions that I've taken in my position as, head of the Yakuza. Like, it was like a real moment of him showing humanity, and you kind of realize like he's not bad. Like this sort of invisible figure that we've always been like characters have been hinting at, that we had been introduced to almost at the beginning as well, just didn't know it.
So
Like
I
ends
was
up
gonna
being this kind of nice guy.
Yeah, and to the point of why he's a nice guy, and I guess if you don't mind me, Ryan, explaining why he's a nice guy and the spoilers around that.
We are going
Um,
after we get through this last character, we're going to get into the one major spoiler of everything. So
oh,
you can
there's so here's the thing. There's one major spoiler, but there's a whole separate side story you probably don't even know about that we're gonna blow your mind on. But
I can't
anywho,
wait.
back to this. Here's this mobster. Um, he is the Porcupine and Dobu's boss essentially, and the one rule that he gave, he's like, you guys are my underlings. You need to give me X amount of money. The one rule you have in order to give me money, but like the one rule is you cannot kill. You cannot kill anybody. That is the one rule. So they go under these like really shitty scams and all these Badger games, etc., to give the guy money. Why does this man need so money? Does he need to retire that much? No. As he says to Otakawa, he's like, "Hey, you probably know who I am. I've done a lot of good, but I've done more bad than good." Otakawa was orphaned as a child, which you find out very early on in the show. Like he's
Mhm.
waiting for his parents to come back, but he's orphaned, and you find out that his housing was paid through grants. Little do we know that this Yakuza man is using most, if not all, of the money he's getting from these Badger games and other scams to pay these children's ways with grants and pay for their living and pay for their housing and food, etc. So he's done a lot of good for children. He's done a lot of bad for adults. Does it offset itself? Probably not. But the spoiler is like one of the other spoilers is like after the like lottery. So the kid who won the lottery and he like got all a shit ton of money. About that, he loses a lot of it, and a lot of it gets robbed, yada yada yada, and a lot of it gets lost. But the
A lot of
money
it's at the
ends up
bottom of
with
the sea.
Otakawa. 100 million of it is at the bottom of the sea, but Otakawa gets the other 900 million or something like that, or whatever the kid gives him. And Otakawa's like, "Yeah, I know one guy who could use this," and he gives it to the mobster as like a token of, "Hey, if you're gonna retire, use this money to continue what you're doing for good, but get the fuck out of the bad." And it's such a good ending to a character arc you don't see coming, and I
Yeah.
love it. And in that relationship of like, "Hey, you raised me, I owe you my life. Here, do good for what you did good for me, do good to others, but get the fuck out of these Badger games. Stop telling these mobsters to do whatever." It's a good story arc that's wrapped up very well.
Yeah. When I like it too, to what you were saying before, how the only rule that he has is don't kill people. That was like Otakawa's last question to him, because like Dobu kept saying it and he heard it from Yano too. Like, we only have one rule. And he's like, well, what is it? And they're like, can't tell you. You'll never know. And like, it was sort of like an afterthought. He's leaving the sauna and he turns back to the Yakuza boss and he's like, by the way, what was your one rule? And he's like, can't kill anyone. And you kind of look
Something as
back at
simple as
all,
that.
yep. But you look back at all those moments of like when death was in clear view for some of these characters, and you're like, well, this is it. That's the end of their life. And like either some extraneous event would happen that would deflect it and cause it from not happening, or it would just not happen for, another reason or another.
Yeah.
And it just always left you with like wow, that's kind of like lucky. Like they got off pretty clean for being at death's door. And you realize like, oh, it's because they were told not to kill anyone. Like your fucking one rule in Fight Club, we don't talk about Fight Club. For the Yakuza and for this group, don't kill anyone. That is not what we're about.
You don't kill, and
Just
it's
don't kill.
with that we are going into now the main spoiler of the show, and I'm curious on the one that you guys, the second side spoiler that will blow my mind.
Are you talking about the pen, by the way?
I am talking about the pen.
Leave the
Do you know
pen
about
out
the
of
pen,
it.
Ryan?
The pen
do
is
not
Ryan,
know
do you
about
know
the
about the
pen.
pen? Okay, he doesn't know about the
Wait,
pen.
hang
We'll
on,
go
hang on,
into
time
we'll
out,
go
hang
into
on.
very shallow waters about the pen. We'll go into shallow waters about the pen, Ryan. You can dig your own bunny hole going down that. But let's get into the main spoiler, Ryan. Give it to us, baby.
The main spoiler is this show isn't about furries. It's not about furries.
God damn it. You had to like phrase it that way.
I love how you put it too. Like it's such a relief. Like, guys, it's not about
Guys,
furries.
They're not animals. They don't have
Not
fur. It's just
animals.
hair.
It's just a man who loved the zoo and could talk to animals easier than people. Instead, it's just really sad.
Yeah.
So
It's just fucking
Yeah.
sad.
Otakara, when he was a child, got in a terrible accident where his parents tried to kill him.
Murder
And
suicide.
One parent was conscious, the other one
one-
was very drunk.
Yes, his father was a drunk and his mother was insane. So
Yeah.
For good reason.
tries to kill the father and son and herself. The son lives, but now he only can see people as animals and himself as an animal. So all these people around him and everything are just animals to him. And we see the world through his eyes. So for 98% of this entire show, we see everyone as animals till one of my favorite moments in the whole thing is when we start to see what everyone actually looks like and why he
Which I
picked these
think-
animals that fit them so well.
I think the only person we really don't see, and I could be wrong here, is the hippo kid. The fucking kid we all hate the most. I don't remember
I
seeing
mean,
him.
does it matter, really?
No, I do want to see his punchable face.
It's probably even more punchable.
it's
Probably.
and this is something that like stuck out so much for me too was the fact that there was like a visual association with
Mhm.
their characters, like their animal characters, and how important that plays into the ending of the show as well. And something that like got me super hyped talking about it before too. I don't know. I'm not jumping too far. Hopefully, Ryan.
No. My question is though, did you guys predict the that people were animals?
No.
No, I didn't. I
Same.
didn't, and I didn't really have an inkling either. I was like, okay, this is set in an animal world. I'm gonna believe that it is an animal world. But it was very always throughout the show strange to me that these animals were in relationships with different animals, because I think when you look back at the past and you're getting the past reaction, because the best scene in this entire show is when the bank robbery goes wrong and Otokawa like has 100 million yen in a suitcase in the back of his trunk. He goes flying off a bridge into the moonlight like ET. And every single every character in this show is essentially a Chekhov's gun. They do come back and they do fire off. Essentially every main player in this show is back at that river, at that bridge for whatever reason, seeing Otokawa's car fly through the air.
Every
and
character you just mentioned over the past 30 minutes has
Mhm.
a moment.
minus maybe a handful.
I
But
think
yeah, like
all of them, dude. That
Yeah.
we mentioned.
the hippo isn't. I think the hippo's the only
No, the
one that
hippo's
is.
there. He's taking a photo. He's
Yeah.
sitting on the grass and he catches him.
You're
in
right,
a-
because he's like, oh, this will go viral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, you're right. But I forget where my train of thought was going with this, but
There's
my
all
favorite-
the characters. Yeah. Keep going.
right. My
You're on
favorite
it.
scene is this thing, because everybody's there. They're brought there for this one moment. The $100,000 is going, or 100 million yen is going down the drain, and it's like this is where you get the trickle feed of like his past and what happened and why it was so fucked up and why he sees everybody as animals. but like one of the characters in specifically, which is the idol girl who is poor, or not poor, has the single mom that is like, hey, go make your dreams come true no matter the cost. She is a cat, and her mom is a completely different animal. But it's like, why? How are these other animals having interactions or having sex and having different animals as children?
Hey man,
Like this is
love is
BoJack Horseman was
mysterious.
animals and people.
I mean, Zootopia didn't even go there. Okay, come on.
But to that part too, it's a great part for multiple reasons. One, because you get that whole backstory into Otokawa's childhood and the trauma that he faced, but then also the reactions and interactions between the other characters is that it's symbolic of the car
Everything dropping
falling
in the
into the
water.
water. Yeah, everything's dropping into the
Everything
water.
drops into the water. It's so
It's
good.
And
God,
it
it's
all makes
amazing.
sense. Like
It's so
Our-
good.
It's
our
the
our chicken friend, our friend with the single mom, drops chicken into boiling water. His best friend who got stuck in the badger game threw his ring into the river. Like it's all
everything.
things.
Everything ends by falling into this
Some
ocean.
sort of liquid.
some sort of liquid,
Yeah.
something. Like they
Yes,
all have a
and
tie.
The dead idol girl. The dead idol girl thrown into
It's
the
like-
river.
Like
Hey.
it's incredible how
It's-
well it's done. Like
The
also
imagery is so fucking
just
good.
such an amazing how he affected every one of those people's lives that we see throughout the entirety of it. Through
This is-
every
yeah.
character he goes to, they go through, and he's touched their lives in some way, or at least a piece of it. Except
it's-
for maybe the comedy duo.
and to tie it all back, he's a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Not to be insulting into an industry, but like taxi drivers are
Boring.
forgettable. Like
Mhm.
there's you don't like they don't really have any impact beyond taking you from point A to point B.
I've been in
Like
probably
it's
hundreds of Ubers throughout my time traveling and
Yeah.
whatnot, and I don't remember any of them.
exactly. But that's why there's such a huge there's so much symbology behind him being a taxi driver, but having it be like the center of all these different webs shooting off to these different characters and their lives and how they've been impacted within this short weird window of time by Otokawa, like all accumulating to this one pinnacle moment of him taking his taxi and flying off a bridge into the river. It's I can't speak highly of it.
I've got two things. One, there's only one taxi that is ever memorable to anybody, and that is the cash cab. Two,
Correct.
the way that Otokawa has the brain blast of, oh yeah, people are human, they're not actually animals, is the remembrance, like the fact that like his splash into water scene is his mom driving their car off a bridge into the water to try and murder suicide the whole family. So when he's jumping off this bridge into the water ET style with no wings and no floating powers, he's just like, oh, I've been through this before. I know what my life is now. My parents are dead. I'm all alone, but everybody's a human. I think I should be okay. Like, and then as we kind of hinted at earlier, we said before, fucking alpaca girl, Capywara girl, Capywara's the goddamn taxi door and gets him out of the taxi while he's like at the bottom of this river.
Bad
And brings him
ass.
right?
Yeah.
Like fucking just you have to first off, she's in full clothing. Swimming in clothes is not easy at all. It is the most difficult thing ever. Two, she's down probably 20 feet.
Mhm.
Like this river is probably pretty fucking deep. So minimum 20 feet down, swimming in clothes, capowaring a door open or a window. We don't really see it. And like we just see the motions and then just like cut to black and then they're on the surface again.
Yep.
And he wakes up, and Otokawa wakes up in an ambulance, and everybody's a human. You're like, holy fuck.
Now, what is the pen theory? What? Tell
So-
me about this pen.
Okay, no, don't you ugh me, because this gives the entire show a completely different ending.
It does, I know,
does,
but
and
the
you
ending
can't
itself is
deny it.
incredible. Can we? Okay, can
So
we?
the
Can,
ending. Let's.
I
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
I was
Go
gonna
for
say
it. Go
let's.
for it. Go. Go. Go.
Let's
Go.
talk the ending, and then
Yeah, okay.
give me the.
I'll wrap it up real quick. So he sees them all as people. Okay. Coolest part is they all have visual features that relate to them as their animal counterparts. All right. They're everything's ending perfectly. Like Otakawa's like the kid that won $1 million gives him the donation. Otakawa takes that, goes to the Yakuza guy, says, "Hey, do this, use this for good. Go and give it to other orphans. Okay, please, thank you."
I'm gonna
The
live my life.
Yeah, the doctor is back in practice, and the capoeira assistant is there. They're all having a good time. His friend, who is the deadbeat, is actually working, making a living, and repaying his debts. Everyone's doing great. Otakawa's sitting in his taxi, chillaxing. He's like, "Ah, this is gonna be a good day."
Listening
And
to
then we
his
see,
comedy duo who did
yeah,
not
listen,
break apart.
No,
yeah, exactly. It's like
because they
everything's
saw the
perfect, right?
core.
Then we get like this character coming down the street, and you don't really know who they are based on their visual features. Like you can't really relate them to a character that we've
Mhm.
met before right away. And we're like, this is really kind of weird. And as they're talking to a parent, and they're saying things like, yeah, I had to do what I had to do. Being solo wasn't going to go for too long. I wanted to be in a group, and I knew I had the guts, but there's just one person in my way. And then you kind of get this horrible sinking feeling like, oh wait, I think I know this person. It flash cuts to them as they're talking with their parent, showing them kill the idol. And you're like, oh, wait, that's you? You killed that idol?
So
Uh-oh.
before you even go further, there's so much happening in this show that when you find out that this idol dies, there's so much happening that you honestly forget that somebody fucking murdered this person.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
forget. You're like on to the next thing. Goldfish brain. I don't care anymore.
Well,
And you're
and the
like,
show,
last episode, you're like, holy shit, that's right. Somebody fucking killed this person. Who are you?
and the show does
Continue.
it so perfectly because like at first you're like, the girl ran away. The girl was missing. Then it turns out she was murdered. Then you find out, oh yeah, shit, she actually was murdered. You never find out who until the very end. But once you get to like she was murdered and here's all the events that happened afterwards, that's why the Yakuza are involved with the idol group. You're like, oh, closure. Like, okay, cool. But once you find out who murdered the idol, like the original idol, you're like, holy shit, this puts a whole new twist on things. And you're still like they're talking and you see the person getting murdered, but you don't see who the killer is still.
You just see
You're,
shadows.
you're like, who the fuck is it? Who the fuck is it?
Mhm.
And they keep walking and they're like, oh yeah, are you gonna make chicken for me when I get home? Chicken's my favorite. And then your stomach just drops and you're like,
Yep.
no. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it. You're like,
Yeah,
no, it's the
I am
replacement
full on
idol.
goosebump mode right
Yeah.
now.
You're
Same.
like, it's the replacement idol. You're like, holy
Mhm.
shit, what the fuck? Then it gets worse because our boy is sitting in his taxi, listening to the Homo sapiens, and he gets a little knock on his window.
Before that,
Person-
the girl is like, I need to take care of one more thing, and I think I just found the taxi cab.
And you're like, oh, shit balls. So she hops in. He's like, where are you heading off to? And she just goes, uh-huh. And then it goes black. And you're like,
Because all the credits are taking place during this conversation.
Yep.
So like
That's
they
the
just
last.
end it and it's done, fade to black, you're it. One thing before we get into the pen conversation, because while she's talking to her mom, she has the pen in her hand. Now this pen is shown throughout the entire show. We'll get into that in a second. However, one thing I do want to backtrack about is Magically Average. Your one correct guess as to what was going on was the cat in the closet.
I think you're giving me credit
You
now
nearly,
for real.
you nearly. No, I have never not given you credit.
All right, let's take a time out. We had been theorizing stuff about this closet because as I mentioned before, a closet is like a big thing for like the first half of the show because there's something in it. We think it's the mystery girl. There's a lot of hints that it could be. We're never going to have a right answer. It remains a mystery. But like how the show goes, because you get so deep into other plots and other mysteries, the closet just sort of disappears. Like no one really cares about the closet for the latter half of the show. All right. Fast forward to the last episode when everyone's a human again, right? He sees people as humans. You get this terrifying scene of him looking at the closet, just staring at it. You don't know what's in it. You're like, good God, just open the goddamn closet. And out pops a cat. And Otakawa's reaction is like, oh, phew, all right, good. Which for most people would be like, oh, okay, like, cool, it's a cat. Until you realize the fact that up until this point, he had been seeing everyone as animals. That cat was just another animal. He did not know if it was in fact an animal or a person. He had
And that's
no fucking
terrifying.
idea.
It's
Because
Terrifying.
haunting.
because the entire, and I made a comment about this before, every time the closet's brought up, we never get an answer. We never get like we don't ever hear any sort of reply from Otakawa. He doesn't respond one way or another. Police investigate. They're like, hey, we gotta look into your closet. He's like, go
You need
ahead.
a warrant
And they're
for
like,
that.
yeah.
No, I
but
thought he
he's-
said. I thought he said you need a warrant for that, or do you have a warrant for that?
And I think
I
the,
think
the
he did.
cop was like, I'm gonna just search no matter what, and then something distracts him and they go away from the closet. Someone else,
Yeah.
like his friends, ask him about the closet. No answers. Like we never actually get a response from Otakawa because he literally does not know if there's a person or an animal in his closet. He has no fucking clue. And my my theory was that it was in fact just a cat because in the opening song, we see him.
My theory is that he's petting a cat, and I'm like,
Yep.
that's a cat in his closet. I had the same thought.
I had the same thought too, and I was like, it's a cat in his closet because he has this whole like issue with like feeling like he's always alone and like abandonment and not feeling like he can retain any sort of like friendship or companionship or anything like that. And he gets this one interaction in the opening song where he's petting a cat, the cat kind of likes him, and the cat runs away, and he's like, back to my sad life, and he just goes into his taxi and the song goes on. And I'm like, oh, easy. He just grabbed that cat. That's what there's a cat in his closet. It's just a random street cat. And thank God I was right because the ending would have been so much more terrifying if it wasn't.
Oh my
Because-
god, I don't think I could have handled it if
Oh,
an idol girl came out of that man's closet.
Just-
I'd have been
but like
oh,
that's that whole mind trippy thing with the show, like how
yeah.
like, and that was thought of from episode 1. Like they
Mhm.
knew what they were doing. That the whole purpose behind the closet and the interactions with the closet, his no responses, like it all culminated to the ending where he went like, oh my god, thank God it's just a cat.
Lesson learned, kids. Don't watch anime intros. Just listen to the song.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
anime intros give like a lot of the show away. However, because I know we're running out of time or we've been gone over time, because I think these are normally supposed to be an hour, and I'm very, very sorry.
Sorry.
I want to
Oh.
talk to you about the pen. And the
Oh.
pen that changes
Oh,
the
yeah.
ending forever. So, I sent you a link, Ryan, of this thing called Odd Taxi audio drama. Now, one character we did not talk about is this college student this college student Giraffe, who is a fanatic of the comedy duo. He loves the
Oh,
comedy duo,
the
thinks they're
second
the
member
funniest
of it,
things ever.
yes.
Yeah.
The
Correct.
one who offers to be the
Yeah, he
replacement.
offers the Warthogs to be the replacement. He's like, I think we would do very well. He has his own podcast. Now, his podcast is based off a bug, and this bug happens to be implanted in a pen. This pen traverses the entire show through almost every single character. And there's a Wikipedia article that just goes through everything. And guess who ends
What
up with the pen at the very end of the show? The murderous idol girl who's about to murder Otakawa. Because he is the only person that can pin her to the... So, let's rewind. She does murder. She has to get out of there. What does she do? She calls a cab. Who comes and picks her up? It's Otakawa. That is why everybody wants his dash cam. Like, hey, did you pick up this missing idol girl? What happened? This
Wait.
girl, the only person that can pin the murder on this girl, which one thing we didn't talk about Otakawa, once he sees your face once, he can pick you out of the crowd. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter who you are, what you're wearing, etc. He can pick you out of a crowd. So, the only person that can pin this girl to the murder scene is Otakawa, because he picks her up from the murder scene. So the murder is like everybody, when he like is in the hospital and all the shit happens with the robbery, and like people are like, Otokawa, they're gonna probably interview you at some point because this was just batshit crazy. Like, you're just a taxi driver. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just to backtrack, like, before he can say anything of where this story began, this story begins with him picking up this idol girl from the murder scene. And
Yeah.
because he sees her face and can recognize her face, that's why she's like, I got like, this is my last loose end. I've got to kill this man. So the ending is literally like this idle little tiny girl, like, who's probably 18, 19 years old, who's about to kill this fully grown man. However, she has this pen that has been a bugged pen this entire time, that has been a podcast for another small character who is not like anywhere remotely near the main
And
story.
They've made an actual audio. I'm looking at that now. There's
He
actual
made
audio.
a podcast. He made a podcast based off the audio he picked up from this bug in this pen, which has traveled through almost every single character in this show until it gets to this last girl's hand. And this last girl, whole conversation with her mom recorded on this pen. The whole conversation and murder of this Otokawa guy that's probably going to happen is going to be taped on this pen. And this giraffe person, you can only imagine, is going to be like, oh fuck, I can't put this in a podcast. I need to turn this into the authorities.
Well, you could do both.
This is a yeah, but like
it's a real crime
it's
podcast.
yeah, it's murder evidence, but like this pen, this little tiny object at the very end of the show busts everything wide open. It kills this girl's plan of ever becoming, like, chasing her dreams, like, potentially. All of this is all unwritten. All of this makes this such a bizarre ending that it's like, this is a movie ending. This is a movie. Because you have a movie that you think like, oh, it's up for your imagination, but this girl probably kills Otokawa. But then there's another layer added with this pen of which, oh, she's probably gonna get caught because of this pen, because of this podcast, because of this one minor character that has been introduced throughout the show, but we don't really see all too often. Literally, the show is one giant Chekhov gun. It is one giant Chekhov gun, and like, thank you, like, I can't speak highly enough of this fucking show.
And I think
it is
that's a perfect
so good.
place to bring us to our closing statements. And
Yeah,
I think we're all probably
that could be
gonna
my
echo
closing statement.
I think we're all going to echo the same thoughts here of just, holy fucking shit. This show is next level on so many ways. It is, at the moment, my anime of the year, and it's been a stacked year already.
Mm-hmm.
I like, there are so many shows I'm excited for next season, and I don't know if they can live up to this show. Like, I'm excited for Chainsaw Man. I'm excited for Komi Can't Communicate. I don't think anything can hold a candle to this show because of how well thought out, how well written, and how just everything about the show was.
When you can go, Tyler.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it's so hard to group this show against others because it is so unique and it's so different. Like, not to detract anything from Odd Taxi. Obviously, hopefully people listening know all of our opinions about Odd Taxi, and we can't speak highly enough about it. But like, it's such a different feel and vibe from your standard anime shows that it's like almost unfair to like try to relate it to those or like compare it to them, because it's like, how do you compare something that is like so well thought out in a 13 whatever episodes that it is, right?
13, yeah.
That from start to finish you are captured by the mystery, the art, the just like the actual like writing of it too. Not like the actual like the plots, but how the characters communicate with each other. Like, everything about this show is so stellar. It's in its whole other category of anime. And I don't think there's any way you can really say like,
It's in a
oh,
league of its own.
yeah,
It-
yeah, it's gonna stand out for years and years and years and years as like this, like the pinnacle of what an anime could be like, because it's such a derailment from what you would categorize to be like your standard run of the mill shonen style
yeah,
anime.
I watch all sorts of anime from the trashiest of trash to masterpieces like this. I run the gambit, and this to me is only the fifth ever 10 out of 10 anime I've ever watched.
Yeah,
Is
this is a
on
perfect anime in my
this
book.
is on the top shelf. This is right next to the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhoods, the
Mhm.
Cowboy Bebops, that kind of thing. On that
Agreed.
top shelf next to the greats of this genre.
And it's 13 episodes long.
And it is. And I can't believe what it does in 13.
No, it's if you've listened to this podcast and you are somehow still on the fence, first off, I don't know how you can be with how much we've been gushing about it, but still knowing everything that we've said about it, go watch it. Watch it through, watch it again because you're going to need to catch everything a second time. Like it will stand out against the rest. No doubt
There are
about it.
things we didn't expand about. Like, there is so much that we have not
Oh,
talked about in this show. Like, honestly, we've given like the major spoilers away, but there's so much to this show that you will find and enjoy. Like, if you do not enjoy this show, at me, and fucking call me the worst piece of shit you things you can say to a human being, and I'll be like, all right, fine.
I'm hopping on Twitter now to do that. Since I
Well,
was given the approval to at you.
you like
No,
this show, so
no, I know.
that
But yeah,
doesn't
like
include you.
in all seriousness too, like you will most likely just forget everything we said once you get 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
Like you'll start developing your own theories about it. You'll start like
Maybe
catching
minus the human
all
part.
minus the human part, but like in the end, in the grand scheme of things, it's like that's one on top of a million other mysteries that come about in the show. Like you'll be so ingrained into it that our opinions and thoughts about it will be lost on you because you'll just start theorizing and developing new like opinions about, what about these characters and how their involvement is. Like it'll capture you from the start. So just do us all a favor, do yourself a favor, go watch it. Like
Watch
now,
this show.
like right now,
Just
like
fucking watch
go
it.
watch it now. Do it.
It is one of the best mystery thriller shows out there, honestly. Like live action or not, this is writing in the shows bar none.
Mhm.
It is so fucking good. Just watch the goddamn show.
That it brings us to our last two things. We got real quickly. I do a little manga corner here because I don't believe manga gets enough anymore. People kind of forget about it, and I'm here to bolster that. And my recommendation this week is unlike this one, an anime that got uh completely destroyed, even though it's coming from an amazing manga, and that'd be Record of Ragnarok or Valkyrie of the End. It is a shonen battle anime. Netflix just did a adaptation of it, and that looks like a slideshow. The manga is a gorgeous battle anime about some of the greatest heroes of Earth facing gods of old to see if mankind should be wiped off the face of the planet. And it's an extremely fun battle manga. If you're a Baki guy, JoJo, give it a shot. You'll definitely like it. And with that, that brings us to plugs. Frank, what are you plugging today?
I guess because you can plug your whole thing, I'll plug our whole thing. Every Wednesday night, me and this stupid doofus magically average, we talk about what we were watching that week in anime. We talk with our other co-host Silver Lobo. We go over what shows are airing currently and what we like, what we don't like, etc. And then we all end it with My Hero Academia talk, which It's always a fucking hoot and a half, and somebody's yelling at somebody because somebody can't give an opinion, somebody can give an opinion, and somebody's opinion is always wrong. And spoiler alert, my opinion's always wrong. So come watch us at Baka Code Podcasts. You can find us. We are Baka Bites. We are on podcast services that you can think of, pretty much everything and anything. I'm going to attempt to try and start putting us on YouTube, but that is to be determined. That is still to become. So, again, search Baka and Co. You will find us. Our podcast is Baka Bites, and yeah.
And Tyler, what you got for me? What are you plugging today?
Well, on top of being able to record a podcast each week with my lovable friend and co-host Frankfurter, I also have a TikTok. Yay! So if you want to do interactions with me, I actually do a lot of posts on Magic the Gathering, which is another big hobby of mine, on TikTok, and do some like anime shit posting too there, which is just funny comedic stuff. Also keep an eye out for the Baka and Co TikTok that's going to be coming soon too, which they were stupid enough to put me in charge of. So get ready for a train wreck there, folks.
I just cracked an
I'm
MTG
thrilled.
booster box literally earlier today.
Hey, my man. Nice. That's what I do. Like I crack packs, I do
Yeah.
like funny comedy stuff about Magic, but yeah. And then on top of that, occasionally I do stream on Twitch at Magically Average, most of the time playing video games with this loser where I have to carry his ass all the time. And our other friend, the nanobiologist.
Oh,
who's
is
a
that
fantastic-
so?
Who's a fantastic fan. Hey, this is my plug. This is
Oh, we can
plug.
always shout out the nanobiologist here.
We are going to bleed into your plug and fuck you. I carried you. Okay, we both carry Nano, and I carry you. Anywho,
That's fair. Yeah, we carry him like the coffin, just kind of kicking around. But yeah, so come out, interact with me, and love spreading the word of Magic the Gathering to y'all and talking about anime too. So
Awesome. And I'll just be plugging my Twitter like normal, which is Ryan the Lion 3055 for mostly hot anime takes and wherever the hell I'll be on the internet that week. Thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful night and goodbye.